Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. Welcome to our live lesson on our novel that we are almost done. It's pretty hard to believe, actually, that we're almost done, I think. But today's topic will be a couple of things. First, we're going to get into the concept of the anti-hero. Hopefully, you had an opportunity to kind of look over and watch the agenda video. You get some key information in regards to what we're covering today. Pardon me. Sorry about that. Some key information in regards to what we're covering today, as well as some administrative things that are going on in case you missed it. So I'm going to get into all that. Hopefully, if there are some questions that pop in, I will stop and I will make sure that all those questions do in fact get answered and no one's kind of left wondering what's going on. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to flip my screen now so that I can see what you guys see in regards to our lessons for today. So 1 second. Let's turn this over here. And there we go. Okay, so as I said, today's lesson is on the anti-hero, which is about chapters 22 and 24 in Catcher in the Rye. Like I said, hard to believe we're almost done. Um, and I don't think it's going to be a very long lesson today in the idea that once you understand the concept of anti-hero, it's pretty self-explanatory from there. Now, we touched on it again in the agenda video that Miss Tully and I made, but pretty straightforward in the sense that the concept of the quintessential anti-hero is the idea that they're not the bad guy, but they're not the good guy. They're sort of neither, and they're both, if that can make any sense. So, specifically with Holden, I mean, he's moody, he's depressed, he's very cynical. He admits things. He's clumsy. He's a coward. He's this self-proclaimed liar. He's this untrustworthy narrative. And in so many aspects and in so many ways, the truth of the matter is we just don't like him. But then on the flip side, you see his sort of sensitivity and you see his sort of non-violent and kind of genuine affection that he does in fact have for certain characters. Like take, for example, his sister. Take, for example, Phoebe. Take, for example, certain admirations for certain things in his life, that you sort of have these glimpses of someone that you almost kind of feel for and feel bad for, and that you almost like at times, but then there are times that you don't. So, again, the concept of the anti hero, and especially when you start analyzing literature, so going from a more superficial level to sort of trying to get more deeper understanding and deeper connections and meanings, as you start to realize that a good character or strong character could, in fact, and does usually possess both qualities and both traits. And then as we kind of go down, we sort of see the key to Holden's redemption in terms of Holden and Phoebe when we see these aspects of him. And then Holden and Mr. Antonelli and sort of the kind of ugly side of adults, right? Where Holden then sort of becomes a victim in certain ways, nothing ever direct but more implied. And then we kind of have that flip side to him. So again, our character sort of takes us through the varying emotions of the anti-hero, and we kind of go up and down with him in terms of how our affection and admiration changes over and over for Holden as we get through the novel, or sorry, go through the novel. Now, in terms of your discussion for today, so discuss Holden as an anti-hero. We are looking for proper paragraph and using evidence from the text. This is something I want to speak to specifically with you guys about. It is really, really important, especially, well, it's always important, but especially at a 4C level, that we are making specific examples from and references from the novel. And that means page numbers, that means quotations wherever possible. This is only going to improve your skills on analysis and critical thinking, and it is going to save you a ton, and let me repeat, a ton of time when it comes time to do our essay. Or again, if you choose our second part of our discussion is the implication of sexual impropriety of Mr. Antonelli's actions. So after, make a text to text connection and discuss your favorite example of an anti-hero from another book, from a TV show, from a movie. And always, always, always remember that you are in fact expected to post to one of your peers. And you guys really have to understand how important it is to sort of share that insight. And even though it may make you uncomfortable, your peers really do read those comments and they really do thrive on your feedback. So please, please make sure that you are doing that. And then I'm just going through our Dropbox submission for today, and that's the ongoing journal. And again, we are doing these, and I know there's a lot of discussion, a lot of journal writing for Unit 3. I completely understand, and please know that it is only because of our novel unit, and there's so much that we can do with it, so many topics to cover, and that's why I think this unit in particular is a bit heavier than, let's say, prior weeks. And please know we're almost done, and then going forward, I don't think it'll feel as heavy. So some of our questions in regards to our Dropbox submission for our journal. What new insight about Holden's school failure does Holden explain to Phoebe about his expulsion um, give the reader? So what new insight are you getting from this character? Why does James Castle? Why was he important to Holden? How does Phoebe manipulate her mother? Evaluate Mr. Antonelli's advice. And again, we always go back to this question, when looking at an untrustworthy narrator, and in this case, Holden, it is important to look at those inconsistencies in action, thought, and speech. Again, connecting to the antihero once again. Um, we bring up this question so many times because hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Again, we're just preparing you for what's upcoming in things like your essay and final evaluations and reflections. So if you have any questions going forward with that, please connect with either myself or Miss Carolyn or Telly, and we will be more than happy to help you with that. I am going to switch over so you guys can see me. There we go. Okay, so hopefully that helps cover sort of the concept of anti-hero. And again, one more time, I do recognize that it's a heavier unit in regards to discussions and journals, and it's just because it's our novel, it's our literature unit, and there's just a lot to cover. But going forward, it definitely eases off a little bit, more like you kind of week 1 and 2. So just understanding and sort of riding the wave with that. Now, a couple of things, like I said, I wanted to touch on some administrative stuff. So unfortunately, as we said, Dawn is no longer with us, and that's just a numbers game that happens in our umbrella of continuing education, especially through online learning. So some of our numbers went down. So that's why we are now down to 2 teachers. Now, originally, we mentioned that we're going to have an updated class list. So that means that Dawn's students will just be transferred into the class of myself or Telly. We don't have that posted. We will. We're just waiting for our office staff to update that, and it's just taking a little bit of time because we started with such a big, big class, over 100 students. So we're not anywhere near those numbers anymore, but they're just taking some time to kind of organize that and go through that. So we will have that list posted. If not today, it will absolutely be tomorrow. Um, all that means for you guys right now is you are still doing your work. All the work is the same. It's no different. So continue to get through the material. And then in terms of contacting your teacher, please just contact myself or Telly. It's all relative really at this point. We're happy to answer any questions. So it's all good that way. No stress, no worries. We have noticed that marks need to be updated as well. So if you are a student that is concerned and wondering sort of where your mark is at, please again contact myself or Telly. We will do our utmost best to get those marks updated for everybody, regardless of whatever group you started in. It doesn't matter. So marks will be updated again within the next day or two. We're working on it, just making sure that everybody has the information that they in fact need. And if you do not, or you're struggling to see something, find something, not sure what's going on, again, give us a call at the center, an email, whatever you feel more comfortable to do. So we are working on it, and we're sorry for the confusion that sometimes happens, as life happens with any situation, but we're on it, we're working on it, and you guys are by far our priority in regards to it. So we ask for a little bit of patience, and then we are going to be cruising by midweek. So I think that's it for me for now, guys. Hopefully you're having a great day, great Monday. Keep working. We're like a week and a half away from like the end of the course, which I think is insane, and time always flies by in these courses. So keep your head up, keep trucking through, and we'll talk soon.